Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Today I am going to show you a couple of scrapbook pages that I completed. But you can see here, this is for anyone who's been in the scrapbooking game for a long time. This is a Creative Memories scrapbook album. When I started paper crafting, I used Stampin' Up! For my card making and Creative Memories for my scrapbooking. At one point, many years ago already, I was invited to a Close to My Heart party, and it was the merging of my two worlds into the beautiful products of Close to My Heart. I fell in love with their clear stamps. I fell in love with their beautiful patterned papers. I think we go ahead a few more years. I signed up to be a consultant, which we are now called makers. And somewhere in that journey, Creative Memories had a bit of a bankruptcy issue, as I recall. They closed down their operations in New Zealand and Australia, leaving those people stranded, for lack of a better word. And Jeanette Linton, who is the founder and developer, person extraordinaire who came up with Close to My Heart, she offered them a place to be. She said, "You are welcome here." What a lovely sentiment. And in the process of inviting them to become a part of the Close to My Heart family, she realized that a lot of the people that are creative memory consultants or former consultants would have a lot of albums, and we have beautiful page protectors or memory protectors, but they didn't fit their albums. So Jeanette had album memory page protectors, people call them different things, created to work in the creative memory strappy albums. So that's what I have here. I have an album that's been sitting in my shelving of albums for many years. I think I have 3 or 4 of them left. I have designated each of these albums for a specific purpose, a specific type of scrapbooking project. This is the one that I use for scrapbooking all of the photos and newsletters that we receive at Christmas time. I'll show you the products that I used on the 2-page layout that I created. I used Bluebell Shimmer Trim, Bluebell ink, Sapphire ink, a couple of stamp sets that say Merry Christmas, and a few different thin cut sets. This is a stamp and thin cut set. This is called Simple Serif Lowercase. So you have the dies that cut out the letters and the numbers, and there is a stamp set in here that also works with these dies. I used the stitched fancy brackets because they're my fave. And I dug out the classic letters. These may still be available, but any kind of letters would work. I just think these look really cool, and they're nice and big and bold for the top of your page. Move this out of the way, hopefully without spilling things. Aha, there we go. These are the pages that I made for 2020. The pages were inspired by this patterned paper. This was from the Serenity paper pack that was available last November, December. It sold out. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to sell out, and so I made sure to buy it right away. I had a little strip of it left, and I cut it up and got it sprinkled throughout my 2 pages here. I used Bluebell cardstock, White Daisy cardstock, and you'll see a little bit of Sapphire cardstock as well. Don't you love how those letters are big and bold across there? And then the numbers, I think the numbers look really cool too. The other thing that I do to help facilitate getting everything on 2 pages is to use close to my heart's flip flaps. These are the 5x7s, which is perfect for those postcards that you get. They are still open. You can get your fingers in there and you can get the postcards out if you want to look at them. So these flip up. I have 3 different ones, and then here you can see that sapphire, and then I did a little stamping with sapphire ink. These numbers, I used Bluebell cardstock, and I used some Bluebell ink to stamp so that you know that picture number 1 goes with the explanation number 1. And as you can see, I did some stamping with Bluebell, so it's tone on tone, and I carried that across the page, and I lined up my white daisy across here. This is a big 6x12 flip flap, so I was able to do a little trimming and get 3 more photos on this flip flap. I have labeled them with numbers that coordinate down below so you know who's in the pictures. And then I did a little bit of journaling, and here's that other piece of that beautiful Serenity paper. I used the Bluebell sparkly goodness. What is this? Shimmer trim. That's what it's called, the shimmer trim. Just a little bit of it, just gives it a little bit of glitz. And I love doing this. This is also a pocket. So I created a pocket. I glued down these 3 sides to create a pocket so I could slip in newsletters, special cards, and memorabilia I wanted to hang on to. And here you go. I'm able to continue using the Creative Memory Album with my Close to My Heart 12x12 memory protectors. I think this is such a wonderful thing to do when you get all of those beautiful pictures in the mail. These pictures mean something to the people that are sending them, or they wouldn't. This also serves as a nice way to remember things. A few weeks ago, my husband and I were talking about some friends of ours that got married, and we looked at each other and could not remember when they got married. And as I brought this book out to insert the pages, I flipped through it because that's what you do. And I discovered their wedding picture on their Christmas postcard that they sent us from 2012. Aha, mystery solved. They were married in 2012. And that's what a lot of this is. I use the flip flaps a lot. Some of the sizes aren't available anymore. And if all I ever do is manage to get a little bit of some who, what, why, where, when going on here, it's just the who. It's just who's in the picture. And this tells me the year that we received the pictures. If that's all I ever manage to get done on these, I will be okay with that. I am not looking for perfection. I did do a little more journaling than I normally do. But if all you get is some names and some dates, that's a great way to start. I am challenging myself this year to work on a little more of the story, but for now, I'm okay that I got this done. So if you have some of those creative memory albums sitting around and you'd like to get them used, think about ordering the page protectors from Close to My Heart that work in there. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a blessed, crafty day, and I'll see you next time.